Alright, Path of Exile players, let's hop into it. This is going to be a beginner's guide for the Huntress, and it's going to be a leveling build guide to get you through the campaign super easy and smooth. So, for starters, let's go ahead and go over the skills and how we actually utilize them. Look at this person just getting absolutely chunked out over here. So, it's going to be a Lightning Spear Huntress build. Now, you can play it as Amazon or Ritualist, but I'm going to tell you for sure Amazon is the go-to. After leveling and beating the campaign with both of them, I'm going to go ahead and recommend this build. If your Lightning Spear is so much more fun than Rake because it is ranged, and ranged is good in action RPGs, right? So, for starters, our skills are going to be optionally Whirling Slash or Disengaged. Whirling Slash makes the enemies blinded. I kind of use it for the bosses. Disengage can kind of be used to kind of utilize kind of either a gap closer. You can kind of use it for mobility, but you have to like move your mouse around. But it is utilized as a melee skill to get a bonus on our projectile attacks. And then Call of the Week, if you want to engage with this, what it lets you do is call enemies. So if there's an enemy that has this little like blue circle around them, you can activate your Call of the Week. It's a brand new skill. And what that allows you to do is kind of like jump towards the target, and it will eliminate them, granting you a frenzy charge, which will grant your next Lightning Spear 50% more damage, which is actually a really big number. Eventually, later, we will have some automation to generate these frenzy charges, but in the earlier stages, you're either forced to using Mark on Hit, Call of the Week, or some other little like hurdle to jump around. Later, we'll talk more about how to actually utilize and have this automated, but it does give you a pretty good amount of extra damage. But if you just want to throw Lightning Spears the entire time in the game, hey, go for it. It's totally a-okay. So, the most important things here. If you want to run Cole, though, you definitely want to try to fit in Profusion. You can generate additional Frenzy charges. So you can also throw in, if you want to, Untouchable. But let's go ahead and go over Lightning Spear. So Lightning Infusion. We're running Martial Tempo. This one's Long Shot. You can also run a couple other gems that I'm mentioning over here. Volt, Bullseye, Fork, Primal Armament, Pinpoint. Like, there's a lot of other things. If you want to run, if you get more of the gem sockets, you can. But most people, you're going to be stuck with 3 extra gem sockets for the campaign. That's about it. And then we have Herald of Thunder, run Innervate in here, you can run Blind in there. But basically, this is what's going to give us some extra free damage. And we want to run Innervate here because on the bosses, well, Herald of Thunder is not going to be too good unless it spawns in multiple trash mobs. And then we run Tame Beast here, one of the brand new skills that is super fun. So what we're running inside of this is we're running Meat Shield as well as Loyalty. So Meat Shield makes it have more HP, it does less damage. Loyalty gives it less HP, but 10% of the damage that you take is taken from the companion's HP, which is awesome. Now, one thing that's important with the companion, you want to make sure you get the Hasted Aura. So what you can do, if you don't know how to get that, check my most recent video. I just dropped a guide on it. Basically, you go to Jungle Ruins and you do this little trick to reset the area again and again until you get that one to spawn in. It can take several tries, just as a heads up, but that is going to be it for the skills. So pretty much you walk around and you spam Lightning Spear. If you want to engage with the other skills, by all means, you can probably add a lot more support gems. But this is what I use for the leveling experience. You can see I am having no troubles at all, as I had a couple people ask. And also, watch how fast our life goes up, even if we don't pop a potion. Right now, I'm running Dust Bloom, I believe, in the gameplay here. I'll show you guys some really cool uniques that you can utilize in the earlier stages of leveling as well. But I want to go ahead and go over the skill tree. So you can play this again as Ritualist or Amazon. I'm going to recommend Amazon. The first point, I think Predatory Instinct is going to be overall better because you get about like almost 20% crit, and you don't really have any crit damage nodes to really scale. So I actually think Predatory Instinct for first, and then you can go Critical Strike and then Penetrate, and then in for the kill for the final one. Or you could go for Elemental Fusion as well if you want to utilize those charges. Um, as far as leveling goes in the very beginning, I just have to get this extra attack damage and extra attack speed. And then we're going to path over here, and we're going to get this extra elemental damage. We're going to grab this little movement speed. Movement speed is king. I actually got a really good jewel while leveling, but ideally, again, attack damage, projectiles, increased attack speed with spears. This is all great stuff. We're going to get this extra elemental damage. And then I opt to get this to add main, which will slow down the enemies because it's offensive and defensive here. We get this extra attack damage. And then we also get movement speed over here. There's extra movement speed over here as well. And we can get this extra mana regen. It also increases your magnitude of shock since you will be shocking. And we get all of these spear nodes. Now, another thing that I really think is absolutely godly, because my background here, you guys can see I'm in a hotel room. We're still traveling. However, the Wi-Fi sucks here. So sometimes I'm playing with like 200 ping. This let me play with high ping, and it was totally fine because we have incredible block chance. So you can see over here we have this increased evasion from shield, which doesn't matter. But all of these block chance have like 70% plus block chance right now, which is huge for survivability. So we definitely want to make sure we grab these for defensive nodes, and then we go back over here to get this extra movement speed as well as dex because, well, as you level up, you need your dex to be high in order for your gems to be able to be leveled up. But that's going to be the skill tree. Again, everything will be linked, but we still have the gear. But it'll be linked to the bio or the pin over on the bottom area. But as far as the gear goes, what we try to look for is on our spear, we're looking for physical damage. We can look for elemental damage. Ideally, it would be lightning damage, but percent increased physical damage is great. Accuracy can be good if we happen to want to grab this later, but in the earlier stages, requiring every single weapon, since you're going to be swapping and rotating weapons out, it's going to be forcing you to have that accuracy. Otherwise, you are wasting an ascendancy point. I'd rather probably get in for the kill or Predator Instinct a lot earlier on to kind of make it a little bit easier on your progression. But definitely later accuracy is going to be very key here. But yeah, that's what you want to try to go for. If you're having troubles in terms of getting these, because the biggest DPS upgrade is your weapon. Go to pathofexile.com/trade2, go throw in max 1 exalt, sort by DPS, and just lock in. Make sure you also check the level requirements though. As far as rings go, ideally you want to get resistances, you get mana regen, you can get max life, adding physical damage, elemental damage, getting mana is key as well because, well, you need more mana, otherwise you're going to have to pop potions. That's more kind of just a quality of life thing, to be honest though. For our other ring, just again, looking for resistances, damage, if you can get dex, that's ideal, and you can also get mana per enemy killed in your ring, or you can also get it in your gloves. It really helps out, and that way you don't have to have mana problems. Very nice. I got a gold rim, so obviously helmet with resistances and life. Those are kind of the only things you want. You can get a high evasion, that's cool too, but I just happen to get a gold rim. It's pretty much one of the best slots for leveling. Another really good thing for leveling as well as Dust Bloom. I was leveling up with this for a very long time. It gives you basically all the mana regen, all the recovery that you need on the bosses. Absolutely fantastic item. Once you get into the Cruel or technically Act 4 difficulty, this item you can swap it because you're going to have other areas to get defenses. Wanderlust is also a really great pair of boots, but this is what I'm currently running. Now, the Oaksworn, this has basically no level requirement. You can buy, most of these uniques, by the way, are like super cheap. Gold Rim, depending on the role, can be a couple of exalts, but it's not that big of a deal. Oaksworn, though, it has just an incredible amount of block chance for the stats that are required for it. That's why I'm running it. And also, it combos really well with Dust Bloom because you get increased life regen, which is quite nice. For the boots, ideally, you just get movement speed as much as possible. Then you get life, mana, dex. Those are all great stats to get. But movement speed is king. For belt, ideally, max life, mana. You get armor. You get any resistances. You can also roll strength as the main stat on there, and that will give you basically more HP. But if you can get a plated belt, that'd be ideal. And then for the gloves, if you can get flat physical, lightning damage, increased life, dex, increased attack speed, mana on kill, those are all great stats. For the charm, the only one that I feel like is important to get is like when you would normally get frozen, it would activate, or stun. Those are the two ones that I would opt to run. If you happen to have those charms, that would be good. It doesn't really matter too much about the flask and stuff, but for the most part, this will get you guys through the campaign. It was really smooth in terms of the process. Obviously, I have nerfed some of the stuff since then, as in like the game is a lot easier. Because I was playing Rake and like comparing Rake to Lightning Spear because some people came to my chat and wanted like a build guide for Rake, and I'm like, let me go ahead and just drop you the Lightning Spear one because I think the Lightning Spear one is just overall better. I played through the entire campaign with Rake and I played through the entire campaign with Lightning Spear, two different characters. Lightning Spear, I can tell you for sure, is the absolute way to go. So it's one of like the better leveling experiences for sure if you want to level up with the Huntress. But there's a little build guide for you guys. That way you can get started if you guys want to maybe try out the Huntress. It's definitely a very fun build. But yeah, this build will carry you all the way through the campaign. Anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe to the bell if you guys want to see more in the future. And again, it'll be in the pin and the link in the bio. If you guys want the Mobalytics planner, that will have all the details, and I'll be updating it if we need to, and then I'll make like an end game guide, but it's just basically for leveling at the moment. Anyways, take care, Exile. See you next time.